I'm glad to see a crowd here tonight. Sometimes I feel like I'm a lone wolf. I've been attending these meetings since 2008. They have 2 a month for the most part, and I've missed about 15 since that time. I'm quite aware of the work that these gentlemen put in. It does take a considerable amount of time, and I have been one of your employees in the past. Tonight, we're all concerned about our taxes going up, and our commissioner, our chairman of the commission, has challenged us to please come forward with some suggestions. So I hope you'll bear with me tonight, because I do have some suggestions. I've got an alternate budget plan for the airport, Triangle North Airport. First thing I want to talk about is I've had a lot of information to give to this board. As a matter of fact, one commissioner told me that it was just so much information. Well, I make no apologies for being a studious citizen to provide information to these board members and to my fellow citizens. That same commissioner has told me that some of the information that I provide is just water under the bridge. Well, water under the bridge. If you don't tend to the water that goes by the bridge and the upstream, this is what it can turn into. Now, this is a picture in the spring of 2009. In 1999, Hurricane Floyd ran over that bridge. The causes for this is twofold: upstream and downstream water. The upstream water, a landowner was allowed to put in some fill and channel the water to make it go farther by his land and reduce the amount of flood control in that area. Once it was found out it was illegal, it was allowed to stay. So that made the water come downstream faster instead of spreading out. The second thing about that was the debris that goes down this water was lodged on the other side over there in several crooks and turns, creating dams that wouldn't allow the water to proceed on. So if we don't look at the water that's already gone downstream, we're going to have dams that's going to stop the water from the upstream. Out of our airport, right there, August 23rd of 2008, this letter was sent out by our Director of Finance at that time concerning some things at the airport. Currently, the tanks are not locked at night. They had some accounts overdue, and they needed some improvements in the billing system. There you see right there, the date is August 23rd, 2006. Then we go to September 7th, 2010. Has anything improved? Currently, the tanks are not locked at night. You got some overdue accounts, and you got some personal charge accounts that shouldn't be happening. You got some billing questions that need to be attended to. September 7th, 2010. 4 years later, the finance director had done his job, but there's no improvement at the managerial level. Then we can move on. That's some December 10th, 2013 minutes from your Triangle North Executive Airport. Right there it says, we have been installing motion sensor lights on the T-hangers, and we have the first row mounted on them, and we'll be getting them wired soon. We spent approximately $700 on lights with no electricity to operate them. And as of today, you can go back and see, that was December of 2013. As of today, those lights still have no electricity. Airplanes. Airplanes have to pay ad valorem taxes, just like you pay taxes on your house. Some of these airplanes are valued as much as $6 million. But for some reason, some of these airplanes don't wind up on our tax rolls. This is public record right here. You can find this. This is public records. National Based Aircraft Inventory Program. submitted by our current airport manager. There's a tail number right there of an airplane. That airplane right there is on this inventory for our airport, but it is not on our tax record. And I wonder why. Could that be because in 2011, our airport board authorized the business contacts and association would be okay for my manager and people at our airport? That airplane is owned by one of his business associates. Then we go to I blacked out some of these names right here. This is also public record, but I'm not up here to embarrass any people that I don't think is not doing something intentional. We see right here it's an aging summary. If you look right there at that second line, that man is over 90 days. This is of July the 30th of last year. He owed us $8,000. He was late on his first month's rent when he came to our airport. Why have we not got a managerial program in place to require these people to pay us our money? He has an airplane. He has motorcycles. He can pay us his rent. Now, I don't know why we can't get things done, but I do know that employees are out there doing work for the manager while he's off somewhere else collecting money for him for his other businesses. And the reason I know this is I collected that check right there. What else is happening that could save us some money? We need to hold every contractor that does work for us accountable. We have a spill control and prevention plan that was designed by our engineers that we have hired at Triangle North Executive Airport. They also designed the plan to have a spill containment system built around our fuel farm system at the airport. They knew exactly what was supposed to be required out there. Those you have to have, if you have a spill containment system, that means that water can get into it when it rains. And when water gets into it, you've got to have a way to let it out. So you've got to have valves. Well, they put one valve in it. I brought up to the boss. I said, boss, you don't have to have a transit or anything. You can see it splits. I said, what's going to happen when it comes over here? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It cost us an extra $425 to have that valve put in. That valve is $75. To put it in while the construction was going on was no extra cost. I'm not going to get too deep into the Airport Capital Reserve projects. The Airport Capital Project is for the buildings, the extra buildings and things that we build at the airport. But what I do want to point out is that while they're telling us at the airport that the airport is self-sustaining, since we have taken over the airport in 2006, we started out with a balance of $201,000 in that project account. There's the $201,000. As of June 30th of 2014, we had $54,920 left in that account. And this board right here has since then appropriated another $11,000 out of it for some more project money. Now, if they're self-sustaining, how come they're using up the savings account? The budget.
Excuse me, I
Yes.
just want to ask a question.
No, ma'am.
It's 5
He
minutes.
said no.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thought it was 5 minutes.
Just a second.
Okay.
May I continue?
We got to go.
Yeah.
May I continue, sir?
Special board.
I so move. Second.
Wait a minute. Mr. Dunstan, I believe this is a public hearing. I don't believe 5 minutes applies.
Well, I make a motion. So-
Everybody else?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The board passed so much. You can tell
It's 10 minutes already.
All in favor, let it know by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it.
Thank you so much. Okay, in the budget proposed for this year, there is a built-in loss of $14,545 for the airport. This does not include, that does not include the $1.5 million that we just spent to buy the property at the airport. So we bought that property, that's on this year's budget. And since 2009, the airport has not made money on its operation, not 1 year. When you go back, as a matter of fact, it's lost $152,000 in conglomerate. But if you'll go back, and if you'll study everything the way it is, the airport has lost they've lost a total of $154,559 on their operation alone. When you add the indirect cost to it, they've lost $534,000 over that period of time. Indirect costs are things that the county provides that the airport doesn't necessarily pay for until the end of the year, such as accounting services, toilet paper, paper towels, that, and that, and that. And then they had, in this period of time, they've had 2 large purchases. When the county gives the ad valorem tax on the aircraft back to the airport, and when you add that back to it, they only lost $153,000 during that period of time. Now, during that period of time, we were making money on hangars that we didn't buy. So this year we had to pay for them. We had to finally settle a lawsuit after 9 years. So we had to pay for it this year.
Mr. Allen, in respect of all the people behind you, please wrap your public comments
Well,
up.
I can do that. That's not a problem. Anybody that wants more detail,
I'm very interested in what you're saying.
I'm very.
I am too, but
You got people behind you, this is a public hearing. Let's
That's
continue.
right.
Please continue.
ladies and gentlemen, do y'all
These facts
want
need
me to
to come
shorten it
out.
up?
They've been known for years, so.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're behind me. What shall I do?
Yay or nay?
Yay. Keep going.
I think be respectful for the reason these people will give you with the information, and you made this available to us before. And
I've made it available to you, Mr. Dunstan, but nothing seems to be happening.
you received
Well,
answers.
this is an example of deferred maintenance that we like to call it, but it's actually neglected maintenance. This would be additional losses. That area right there, we're supposed to put a shelter over those pumps ever since 2009. They're not designed to be out in the weather. We've replaced at least 5 of them since 2009, and they're about $3,500 a piece plus the labor. Recently we had an incident that one of our aircraft couldn't get to his hangar. And it was said that it was an isolated incident. Well, there's one. There's another time. There's another time. And look at that right there. That man owns a $6 million jet and had to leave it in the middle of the taxiway because he couldn't get to his hangar, and nothing but lip service has been paid to the solution. All right? So we're going to get down now, Mr. Dunstan, to what I really want to do. I didn't look at the expenses of the airport. All I've looked at is the revenues. Okay? I'm going to show you how to increase this budget by revenues alone. Since 2006, there have been no rent increases on the tie-down spaces on the ramp at Triangle North Airport. Currently, the monthly fee is $35 a night. The fee is $5 with the first night free with a fuel purchase. The ropes alone on those tie-downs cost about $1,500. There's numerous storage facilities on that out there that, or we have numerous storage facilities in the county that charge $50 a month to store a boat. Since August of 2013, it has been reported that Triangle North Airport tie-down spaces are fully occupied. As of July 31st, 2014, the financial records indicate 26 monthly fees have been paid for 48 spots. How is that full? Well, the way it's full is one tenant occupies 3 spaces and is charged for 1. One tenant occupies 9 and is charged for 3. Right there is where it said the ramp was full. My suggestion for the ramp: increase your monthly fee tie-down rates to $50, nightly rate to $5, with a minimum 10-gallon purchase for a free night's tie-down. Ensure all occupied tie-down spaces are charged. Remove the ropes due to liability reasons. Let the monthly tenants provide their own devices. If you went along with these suggestions, this should increase the Triangle North revenue from $910 to $1,900 monthly with an 80% occupancy rate. This would be a yearly increase to Triangle North Airport of $11,880. Okay, we've got 45 hangars, T-hangar types, at Triangle North Airport. Currently, the rent is $290 on some of them, $245 on the rest, depending on which hangar you have and how long you've been there. Some tenants have been grandfathered in. We had an increase in some of the hangars in 2009 from $265 to $290. The older hangars were scheduled to go to $265. However, due to some serious maintenance issues, the increase was foregone. New tenants coming in pay $290 now a month regardless. Okay, my suggestions: raise the rent on the older T-hangars, since they have not had a rent increase since 2006, to $290. Being as there are 9 T-hangars at the lower rent, this should increase the Triangle North monthly revenue by $405 for a yearly total of $4,860. Corporate hangars. You got 6 of those and their associated appurtenances. They were constructed for the storage of corporate type aircraft. Currently, only one of these hangars is utilized for this purpose. 4 of these hangars are utilized for aircraft maintenance and storage. One of these hangars is utilized for office space and parachute rigging and briefing. Being as the building codes have differing guidelines for storage and maintenance and human occupancy, there could be some liability there on those hangars. The rent for the corporate hangars vary from $700 monthly to $1,500 monthly. 5 of these hangars pay monthly utilities, 1 does not. One of these hangars is currently occupied by a business associate of the current manager. One hangar is co-occupied by the current manager's charity group and a business associate. Suggestions: first and foremost, we need to make sure that the hangars are in compliance with building codes and current utilization. Being as 5 of these hangars are similar size and have similar amenities, rent should be increased to $1,000 monthly. This should increase the Triangle North monthly revenue by $500 and the yearly revenue by $6,000. Consideration should be given to ad valorem tax values of property stored in these hangars for possible rent discounts. A man got a $6 million airplane, probably needs a discount on his rent. All tenants should be required to pay utilities. This should increase the Triangle North yearly revenue by $1,800. Being as these hangars were constructed for aircraft storage and sufficient parking and other amenities were also constructed for this purpose, Triangle North should not pay for further expansion of parking spaces or other amenities. The cost should be borne by the tenant wanting to expand. This will save us thousands of dollars. The large hangar at Triangle North Airport. Suggestions on it: being as a tenant currently paying $310 monthly for 2 aircraft, his rent should be increased for the tenant with 4 aircraft to $310 each. We have one tenant that has 4 aircraft in the hangar. One of them is paying $400 a month. The other 3 are paying $175. Same consideration should be given to his ad valorem tax value. If we follow these increases, we should have a $19,980 increase in yearly income. The upstairs rent. When the tenant moved in the upstairs office space, they were given rent at $600 a month, even though the previous tenant was paying $1,000 a month. There have been no rent increases since. The previous tenant upfit the office space as it is today. I suggest the rent be increased to $1,000 a month. 2 tenants in the downstairs office space are paying no monthly rent. And I think that the a la carte office rent should apply. One of them is a double office. It should be $400 a month. The other one should be $250 a month. This rent would include their utilities. Being as we could command $1,860 a month rent for individual spaces in half of the big hangar, and we're currently renting that half for only $1,000, I suggest the rent go to $1,500, and that'll include the utilities. To prove my point, there is the receipt where the former tenant was paying $1,000 for office space for that, what is now being getting $600. There is where the previous tenant was paying $2,300 for the hangar, for the entire hangar, and there's where he was renting space a la carte for $250 a month. We currently have 4 privately owned hangars at Triangle North Airport. Each of these is paying ad valorem taxes to the Franklin County Tax Office. One of these, the lease is about to expire. It's a 40 by 40 hangar and it pays $100 yearly lease fee. I suggest the county take this hangar for themselves and utilize it, and that's going to open up 2 more hangars for rent. Mr. Dunstan, I can see you're getting irritated, so I'm going on to the end.
You're making an assumption, Mr. Allen.
That's not a problem. I'm sorry. But it's
Unfair assumption.
well, anyway, the current budget proposal has a built-in $14,545 loss. With all of the suggestions that I've got, I could improve our year. You can see the tie downs. I could increase by $11,880. T-hangers, $4,860. Raw land that we're getting nothing for right now. Zero, a knot egg. I could get $17,340. Private hangars, $4,680. End units, $8,280. The large hangar, $19,980 for a difference of for a total of $67,000. And that budget plan would have a built-in profit of $52,475. Now, we got a man that's hired that's making over $100,000 a year in salary and benefits. Now, if a poor old dummy like me can come up with that, where is he doing?